Hello, everybody. We're here for another spiritual talk tonight. How's everybody doing? Pinky, come and lay down. Come here. Come here. Come and lay down. Come here. Hello, Snow Queen. Hello, Tiffany. How are you ladies tonight? Hey, Teardrops. Ah. So what did Austin have to say, hun? If you want to share, if you care to share. How is everybody tonight? So I sent an invitation out to Elle, since she's reading this book too, to see if she wanted to come on live. So I did it under StreamYard tonight. So we'll see if she comes on. I told her she doesn't have to show her face if she doesn't want to. That's good, Tiffany. I know somebody else that got a reading from him today, but I haven't heard from her. Been an interesting week. Has anybody else had any weird, violent shit going on in their family this week? Okay. So it doesn't look like Elle will be here tonight. Mm-hmm. So yeah, yeah, we've had two very violent situations in my family this week. One of them was my son-in-law was sitting in his car. He just got to work sitting in his car. And this crazy man that's had a history of violence that lived down the street decided to shoot it up his truck, and he was sitting in it. Yes, she said she got a bunch of shipments today. She's unpacking like crazy. Yeah. So totally shattered the dashboard. There's bullets through the seats, through the bed. He was sitting in it. So now they picked up the guy on attempted murder charges. And then somebody pulled a gun on my grandson on Wednesday. He's okay. Just shook up, hon. I'd be a little bit shook up if somebody was shooting at me, too. That was crazy. Now he has no vehicle to get back and forth to work. Crazy. And then I never hear this much violence. Never, especially here in Colorado. And then a 93-year-old man shot and killed somebody at a assisted living the other night. There was other shootings last night in Denver. It's like, what the heck is going on? Is it this Mercury retrograde and all these planets lined up, or what? Crazy. So everybody, put your extra protection up. Thank you, Teardrops. Everybody put your extra protection up and ask for some extra protection from the angels. Did we lose Snow Queen? Lots of sex. That's what they keep telling me about my twin flame when he comes back to be lots of sex. So I listened to something called Morning Invest. He breaks down political stuff and what's going on with the stimuluses and what's going on. Yeah. He breaks down all kinds of stuff. So they've been having major computer problems. And he tells everybody, just hold on. It's Mercury retrograde. So teardrops, I remember about 25 years ago. Yeah, about 25 years ago, we had an influx of people from California and Texas. That first winter, we had 1/4 of an inch of snow and the whole city stopped because they didn't know how to drive in the snow. Well, we did talk about you having to make choices and decisions, though, didn't we, hon? That was kind of meant that he was still kind of in the picture, you know? Hi, Beth. How are you? Good. Well, we're glad you popped in and said hi. So since Elle's not coming on, I guess we don't have a topic tonight because we were gonna do the first chakras, but I wanted her to be here to do that too. So whatever you ladies want to talk about tonight. I wish you could stay too, hon. We'll be here for a while, so if you want to pop in later. Hope you have an awesome weekend, hon, and put up extra protection and be safe, okay? And you know, teardrops are not just moving out of California. Good. I hope we'll see you back later, hon. They're not just moving out of California, they're moving out of New York too. I know somebody is trying to buy a house in New York. But they're all moving out of New York. Everybody that can work online is moving. Yeah, they're all moving a little bit west, but not all the way to Colorado. They're moving in some of the other eastern states. Yeah. So how's everybody else's week been? I'm glad for Austin. I'm happy for him. Still not as yeah. Well, they're starting to ease restrictions here. They're starting to let restaurants have 50% capacity, but everybody is still supposed to be wearing masks. Yeah, I recommended Austin to somebody to get a reading. They were supposed to do that today. And I haven't heard from her, so. Put it in the bubble, hun, and see if that helps. If not, talk to it and ask what you've learned from it. Just make sure you don't push it away, okay? I was listening to AOC talk about how she was traumatized by everything that went on the 6th of January. And people are calling her out. First, the men were telling her, get over it. And then they were calling her out saying that naughty by nature, yes, and there's the bubble. Yes. Yep, yep. You know, and this is the attitudes of men. Oh, well, get over it. You know, it kind of gets me that, okay, there was a potential of your lives being on the line, and somebody was traumatized by it because of something else that was going on. You don't just tell somebody to get over it. Naughty by nature. Ooh-hoo-hoo. We're here, hon. Well, that's because Elle is so in tune and Tiffany's so in tune that you guys pick up on each other's vibes. Yes, Elle is a mover and shaker, just like Casey. Ah, did Austin pick up on any of the energy that went on last weekend? Just make sure you don't internalize it, hun. Talk to it. Use the bubble, talk to it, see what it's teaching you. What did you learn from that situation? To listen to that intuition and to learn how to say no. Hi, Luna. How are you? And that's something we all do. You know, it's just crazy. Pay attention to that gut feeling. Learn to say no. There had to be some way. Ah. So Luna's got 444 going and 111. I keep seeing 222. I keep seeing 222. The gas mileage on my car is showing 222. So I figured that if it keeps sticking at 222, the average mileage, then I need to pay attention to the number. So I looked it up. Don't ask me what it said. I don't remember. But it was significant. They've been slamming you all week with 222? Yeah. Yeah. Pay attention. Pay attention. They're going to find any way they can to get us the information we need. This is one of the things. Sometimes we have to give them permission to help us. Okay, somebody on my Facebook had their clutch go out. And because they live on an Indian reservation, because everybody was telling him, well, let us 999. Ooh, I don't know what 999 means. We told him start a fundraising, and we'll all contribute. And he goes, no, I can't do that because I would feel guilty because of all the people on the reservation that need help. So I told him, I said, you can't help other people if you can't help yourself first. I said, let us help you and then you can pay it forward. He never answered me. So now you got me going. What does 999 mean? It's related to sexuality and energy that someone possesses in love. If your angel number is 999 and if you are in love, it means you will lose your head completely because of your loved one. You are a person who is completely dedicated to a partner and you forget all the world around you. A symbol of clarity in your actions and goals. This number sequence says that you'll achieve your goals. It's an interesting blend of divine powers, as it is interlinked with vibrations of manifestation. This number is a sign that you hold the power to create your reality. It means you are headed in the direction that is rich with abundance, prosperity, wealth, and power. Oh, girl, accept that. Hey, Austin. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting how some things trigger our life. All the little changes. Welcome, Austin. How are you tonight? I referred you to somebody to get a reading. I think you were going to do her reading today. Your ghost husband. Even that would be nice to have around, somebody to talk to. Besides the dog. I get so bored. And then I try talking to one of my kids and they tell me all kinds of stuff. It's like, I don't even want to talk to my family anymore. I know. I heard the good news. That's awesome. Congratulations, hon. That's awesome. Sorry to hear that, Luna. I'm so happy for you, Austin. You deserve it. I told you you'd hit 1,000 before I do. I'm beginning to think I'm never going to get well. I do okay for the last couple days and then I crash. Tiffany was the one that gave me the good news. Once you hit that 1,000 mark, then you can they can pay directly on YouTube, and you can get money from the commercials. What I hate is sometimes I can't sleep in the middle of the night. They put up 3 times as many commercials at night as they do during the day. Oh, it could be. There's also I was listening to a talk by a doctor. Where is it? In Brazil, they put a bunch of their doctors on ivermectin, and none of them got COVID. And the ones that did not take the ivermectin at another hospital, 58% of the hospital employees got COVID. And that's okay. So this I'm noticing a pattern, because COVID has a lot of the similarities in some ways, the way it attacks the body as malaria. And when it first started, they were talking about in India, they're using a remedy called Arsenica album. That is also used for parasites and malaria. And this intermectin is also used for parasites. Yes, similar to meningitis. So there may be a little bit of a pattern in there. It may be some kind of parasitic thing. Now, I tried going in early in it and tried talking to it and telling it that, because it's a life form too. I tried going in and telling it that that it's trying to live, and the hosts that it is invading are dying also, and then it's dying. And it's like, then after that, it stayed like that away from me. It's like, oh. So I think on some level it understood. But I'm still not going to take any chances, even though it seems like it's out a little ways. I'm too busy dealing with this stupid anemia. This is not fun, guys. Yeah. So there's still a lot of things they don't know. But this doctor was in front of Congress. In fact, I just cleared that. I should have saved that for everybody to watch. He was in front of Congress putting all this data in front of him. And he says they have done a lot of data and research at the hospitals here also, and nobody's paying attention. So just going to learn over time, I guess. Yeah. I've been doing I went in for B12 shot again on Tuesday, and it was fine. And then all of a sudden it seemed like today everything just dropped again. And I told the doctor, you tell me I'm getting better, but some days I just don't feel about it. And he goes, you okay? He goes, that's because you're getting older and you don't recover as fast. You okay? Go drink some water. That's the second time tonight you've choked. I took her with me to the store with me this morning, and everybody was all excited. Oh my God, you got a pug too? Oh, you created your website? Awesome. Did you set it up so that people could schedule appointments through there too? What's your website, hon? I just don't have the technical stuff anymore. I used to do technical support and troubleshooting for 30 years. My brain says no more. I just focus on the spiritual stuff now. Ah, cool. Now we can send them all to his website too. We'll get you out there and running. Does anybody have anything they want to talk about tonight? Austin, I was going to ask you something, and now I can't remember what it was. It was on astrology. Oh, hey Casey, how you doing tonight, hon? Austin, which planet is it that comes around every 28 years? That's what I was going to ask you. Because my grandson's 27, and he's been going through hell and back. Oh, you're welcome anytime, hon. So, I thought it was Saturn. Okay, so he's 27 now, and he's been going through hell. Now, this is what happened this week. Wednesday, okay, Chicken had a gun pulled on him at the gas station. Yeah. And he is so upset. Yesterday, my son-in-law went to work, pulled up at his work, and this crazy guy shot up his truck with him sitting in it. And they caught him. They got him for attempted murder and domestic violence. He's had a warner out, and then he also burned his house down while the SWAT team was out there. And it's like, what the hell's going on? And I was noticing before that all week we've had shootings like crazy every day. He's a little bit traumatized, but yes, I've been staying home too. It's crazy. And this was down in Florissant. It was in the news and everything. He pulled up at work, and this guy has been yelling and screaming at the construction workers all week, or the last couple weeks. Oh. So maybe you're not supposed to have the appointment during Mercury retrograde. So did they reschedule your appointment for the attorney, hon? And what kind of downloads you getting, Tiffany? The planet of chaos as well. Because I told him today, I said, he says, I've been going through it like crazy, Grandma. And I said, well, I think it's the Saturn return. Maybe just a few months early, maturity. Yeah. Because it's interesting, because if you look at men, pay attention, Austin, because you're almost there. Men have a tendency not to mature until they're about 28 anyway. So you're close to that Saturn return too, hun. Try to, okay, so Mercury retrograde is till the 20th, and then the shadow period is 2 weeks after that. Try to make, if you can, hold out that long, hun. Try to make your appointment after Mercury retrograde in the shadow, okay? And ask for the most divinely the most appropriate lawyer, divinely appropriate lawyer. Yeah. Well, you know what? Shadow period is better than full-time Mercury, hun. Right, Austin? The one who does. Ah. So, what were your impressions, Tiffany, besides the Egypt? Oh, no, I just stay home and have my son-in-law, my grandson shot at. Oh. Tiffany, okay, so tell me how this feels, Tiffany. Is it Egypt or is it South America? I'm thinking it's either Central America or South America, hon. Especially when you talk about turquoise. Because I don't think they had turquoise in Egypt. He's pretty upset. He was supposed to go to Las Vegas this weekend and he canceled because he's so upset. And my son-in-law and daughter are locked up at home, traumatized. Yeah, that'd be pretty traumatic. So Tiffany, take a pendulum and take a map and ask some questions. Like, what was this dream about this area or this area? And see what your pendulum comes up with. I'm sorry for both of them. That's traumatic for both of them. That's crazy. Absolute crazy. And all he was doing was a. So I was listening to. I kind of listened to a few today, and one of them hit a lot of things on the nose. But she said that the twin flame is coming back. You can buy pendulums anywhere, hon. You can even get pendulums on Amazon. So just be prepared, Austin, that twin flame relationships are not easy. A metaphysical store, Amazon, yeah, yeah. Do you have, okay, so like out here, we're going to have a metaphysical fair in, yeah, that's right. Tiffany makes pendulums. Talk to Tiffany. Good. Oh, no, twin flames are horrible. Not all of them, but they do bring up things that you need to heal between the two of you. And one of them is usually a little more spiritually evolved than the other one, hon. So have a lot, and I think you have a lot of patience, Austin. So yep. So teardrops, you should connect with Tiffany and see what kind of stone that you're drawn to, and maybe Tiffany can make one for you. Or if you've got a favorite stone necklace, you could put it on a chain and use that as a pendulum too. Or you can get some dowsing rods. But Tiffany wraps some cute stuff. She made some for her sisters. See, everybody should be promoting their products on here. Yeah, Tiffany on Instagram. Because I know a lot of you don't have Facebook. Uh-huh. Did you look at that one? That did I send you that one that they twist the wire before they put it around the stones? Those were pretty too. You could use a ring. You're going to offer part. I thought about doing that myself, hon. I thought about doing that myself. Doing parties. That's a good idea, Austin. I'm telling you, you should do some of the metaphysical fairs. You should check out the mind body spirit fair. Let me find that. Mind body mind. Mind Body Spirit Expo. I know there's one here in March and there's one in April. And the one in Colorado Springs is April 16th. In Colorado Springs. Hold on, let me send you a link for that. Check that out, Austin. That's the one in Colorado Springs. But it just look for some metaphysical fairs in your area. Colorado's opening up a lot because the COVID cases are going down. I don't know what it's doing over there in Florida, but they may be having some of the fairs, or check out some of the little metaphysical stores, hon. You would do awesome. Did you ever get your brisket, Elle? It'd be interesting if you could learn to weave. Say you have a ring. It'd be cool if you could learn to weave little tiny tree of lives on them and put them on a chain. You're getting wings? Ah. We have a little pizza place over here in the little town over Kiowa. It's called Beano's Pizza. People come from all over Colorado to eat Beano's Pizza. Their pizza's that good. And they make a gluten-free pizza crust that just melts in your mouth. Oh, it's so good. One of the gals here in Elizabeth makes the crust and sells it to them. Y'all making me hungry, huh? I have a roast in the slow cooker. Hey, if you've got any good recipes, share. I'm always looking for something different. I have to make a lot of things myself because I'm gluten-free. So I'm making like gluten-free brown rice tortillas. Somebody told me to try expanded tapioca flour to see if I could make homemade tortillas with that. So I'm going to play around with that a little bit when I feel better. I have a good hot wings recipe. Go ahead and cook your chicken for a while and then get some Valentina sauce. You get one of the small bottles of Valentina sauce, and then you put a cube of butter in it. Pour it over your chicken and bake it for about 20 more minutes. Corned beef and cabbage. I can't eat corned beef because it's not gluten-free. I think, well, maybe. I think last year they came out with a gluten-free one. And a lot of my ancestry was Irish and English and Scottish. More Irish, I think. I mean, more Scottish and German. Somebody gave me some blueberries. I should make some blueberry muffins for in the mornings. Everybody's going to be running for the kitchen now. So I posted on my Facebook, what was the best thing that your mom used to cook? Tinky, what's going on with you, girl? What was the best thing your mom used to cook? My oldest daughter put down homemade noodles and homemade tortillas. Irish, German, Pennsylvania Dutch, and Indian. So you got quite a combo. Yeah, that's what some people said too, everything. So, yeah, my family was Pennsylvania Dutch too. We may be related, Tiffany. Have you done your genealogy? Chicken and dumplings. Okay, sign up for FamilySearch.org and put your name in. Put your parents' name, your grandparents, any information you can find out, and they will match up anybody that's done any work for you. Yeah, we might be related because yeah, we were Pennsylvania Dutch too. Did I tell you the story on Thanksgiving Day? I got an email from FamilySearch.org. There's an old newspaper. One of my great. Okay, so some of my family came over on the Mayflower. They actually came over on the Mayflower. This is a part of the family. There was two parts of the family that I could not trace. So they sent me. The family, the daughter and the sisters came over on the Mayflower, and this guy came over on the Mayflower. He was swept over. Overboard on the Mayflower, and he grabbed a rope. Just happened to grab a rope. Tell me, there's no such thing as a coincidence. If you're swept overboard on a ship in a storm, what are your chances of grabbing a rope? But when they got over to Virginia, then the great grandmother, her parents died, so she became the ward of this guy that was swept overboard, and they had 10 children. So my family was here for the first Thanksgiving. Your parents may be from New Jersey, okay, but where were your grandparents from? My great grandparents were some of the early Mormons, and they were, yeah. The Pennsylvania Dutch had a tendency to marry cousins to cousins. My great grandfather was from New York. My great grandmother was born in, all it says is Canada Scotch. Her parents were born in Scotland. So she migrated down from Canada to New York and married my great grandfather. He was one of the early Mormons, and they moved from New York to, where did they go? Well, anyway, some of the family ended up in Nauvoo. Whatever you can get, hon, put it into FamilySearch.org, okay, and they will match. If there's anybody else with similar names or anybody else has done any similar research, they will bring it all together. And the Mormons have kept extensive records, and they are gathering records from all over the world and putting it on this FamilySearch.org. I have family in Canada. I have family in Indiana. And you know what's funny is when I did the DNA test, it was showing third cousins on the Scottish side. They had names like Fairy Queen and stuff like that. Yeah, FamilySearch.org. Put in whatever information you have that you can get. You can go in and search names also, your grandparents' names and stuff, and see if anybody's already started something. And it's free. And it's interesting. They'll show you headstones, and they'll tell you stories about their life. They'll show you pictures of where they used to live. On one of my other side of the family, back in 1345, I think it was, one of my ancestors was the Duke of Worcestershire, and he was an advisor to the king. Yeah. Yeah. So they have lots and lots of stories and stuff that they could pull up too. So it's kind of fun to when you run into some matches and stuff. Like I said, I couldn't match my mother's dad's side of the family. Well, somebody has gone in and did a bunch of research now. That's the side of the family that came over in the Mayflower. And they were coming over from Germany. Yeah. Honey, there's no such thing as an accident. Did you see that post that I put up on Facebook? It says, when are you going to quit looking at everything as a coincidence and realize how powerful you are? You know, when you go back and look at some of these stories where these two guys that were raised 50 miles apart, when they're a little older, they become best friends. And then later on, they find out they're actually brothers that were put up for adoption. Is that an accident? Seriously. But, you know, Ancestry has a lot of stuff, but you have to pay. But FamilySearch.org is awesome. You know. I know every year back in Iowa. Okay, so back in Iowa, they were that's what they called their winter quarters. And what happened was when Joseph Smith was killed, they believed, some of the people believed that Joseph Smith's son should be the head of the church, and others believed that Brigham Young should be the head of the church. So they split the church. So we have the reorganized Church of Latter-day Saints, which is called Covenant for Christ now, and the actual Mormons. The Covenant for Christ ones never believed in multiple marriages. Yes. Yes. You know how that gal Mayberry, I don't remember what her name is, Mayberry. She runs some of these metaphysical talk shows. I got on there one time and she told me that my grandmother was a healer and that it skipped a generation. And she told me a lot of things about my grandma that I confirmed later. And it's like, wow, wow. Now that's the side of the family that I can't trace. The Brown side of the family. I don't know if they didn't want to be found or what. That's the only side of the family that I don't have traced. One side of the family was so easy because they were all cousins. They were all cousins. Cousins married cousins. I think this is going to be an interesting Mercury retrograde. That's all I can say. It's already started out with a bang. How are you feeling, Teardrops? Yeah, we were going to talk about that tonight. I sent her I did this on StreamYard tonight because I thought maybe she might want to come on and it'd be easier to talk than type. I did make notes on the first chakra, but since she's so busy tonight, maybe we'll wait till. That's okay. We'll just work on the chakras next Friday night, hon, because you're pretty busy. I did make a bunch of notes. So, do you have your mom's real dad's name, Tiffany? Yes, and wings are messy. So, you might want to try some homeopathy called Arsenica Album. And see if that'll help some. You're still eating. You guys have no idea how beautiful Elle is. So put his name in. Do you have his birth date or anything on him, hon? Any information you can, plug it into familysearch.org and see if you can pull up anything. You may find some cousins. You want to do the stream without you talking? Yes, Ella's a goddess. Well, I just thought it'd be easier than typing, hon. Because you could do the stream without you being seen if you want. Because there's a lot of information. That'd be a heck of a lot of typing. My dad was talking one time about, he went back and he was talking about some of our family was hung for being a horse thief. One of my great uncles was going from, I think it was Pennsylvania down into Ohio. I have to look and see if those intersect. Well, anyway, they were going to a Mormon meeting down in Ohio. All the family was in the wagon and they got waylaid by vigilantes and they made them sign over their land. They couldn't even go back and get any of their stuff. That's okay, Elle. I just was trying to make it easier for you. Yeah. And my dad made a comment one time. Well, a lot of people didn't want him to do the family book because cousins married cousins. Well, yeah, my mom and dad were cousins. My mom's mom and my dad's dad were brother and sister. And I found that out because I looked up who my cousin told me who the witnesses were for the marriage license for my grandparents. And when looked her up and found her, and sure enough, her brother and sister were my grandma and grandpa. I'm munching on guacamole, guys. Elle, did you look at the school schedule yet for the camping trip? When does school get out down there? Because we could always, well, if we do it the 1st of June, there's more people. Yes, put it in the bubble. Look at her. I love that. Let's all hold each other accountable. Tinky, go drink some water. That's okay, hon. If you've got to unload all your stuff, then do it. And okay, I allow myself to get through all these supplies with ease. I'm bombarded into the bubble too. That's okay, hon. We'll do it any way you want to do. But maybe it's better if we wait till next week anyway, because Teardrops will have the book by then too. Do any of you doodle? Want Mama's attention? Well, there's only 3 of us on here anyway, naughty by nature. How much snow did you get, Al? Yeah. I doodle. I used to get in trouble at work because I'd get a phone call or something, and I would, you know how you got the letters, I would fill in the O's and the G's and the B's and the D's and stuff. And the gal that sat at the desk doing her work, she'd get all upset. Quit doodling on my desk. And I wasn't even aware I was doing it until then. They say people that doodle are more intelligent. Drink some water, you crazy dog. Go drink some water. I gave you some. Hold on. Let me check and see if she's got water. You got water? Come here. Come here. I got water right here. Looky. Drink some. Yeah, so do I. So do I. And it helps me focus and concentrate too. You're so stubborn. Oh my goodness. So why is Luna giving you problems tonight, Tiffany? We didn't have a subject tonight, you can tell. Has anybody watched any good TV shows? I watched Firefly Lane. That's sad. Has anybody seen Fate? What else did I watch? I'm so bored. And yet I can't sit down and concentrate on anything. One of my ancestors was the Duke of Worcestershire. Back in like 1345. Oh, poor baby. Does he usually see her pretty regular, Tiffany? So, Casey, how was your week? How was your review, hon? Oh, I've been seeing blurry things walk. So are they like shadows? Are they more like shadows, hon? I was working nights one night. and I kept feeling somebody watching me, and I even told my boss I saw somebody. He checked the stairwells and everything and couldn't find anybody. So I was at the other side of the building. I was vacuuming. I felt somebody watch me. Turn around and saw a 10-foot shadow. And my boss came upstairs and it went. Psh. But my theory. No, you didn't tell me about your review. My theory is that was me warning myself not to go to Arizona to marry my first husband. Are they more out of the corner of your eye, teardrops? Just a quick movement out of the corner of your eye? Because that's what I kept seeing until I turned around and saw it standing directly in front of me, 10 foot, a good 10 foot tall. So I think sometimes those can be messengers, especially if you don't feel anything bad. Oh, so they do go in front of you now. Yeah, so they're trying to get your attention. Tiffany, don't let him get away with not paying the child support, hon. Make sure you file with the child enforcement agency, and then any stimuluses that he gets will go to you, hon. So there's something that you need to be aware of. Be careful with your choices and decisions. Yeah. Because to me, like I said, and then when my first husband and I bought our house, everybody that came over was seeing the shadows walking, but they were walking between rooms and you'd see them out of the corner of your eye. So my theory was maybe I was coming back in time to tell myself not to marry my first husband. I would talk to her and let her know that it's her dad that has the problem, not him, not her. Okay. Teach her the bubble technique, hun. She's not too young to use the bubble technique. See if that'll help, if she'll use that. Okay. How old is she now, Tiff? Because she's still young enough. Okay, she's still young enough that you can go in and talk to her inner child. You can still put protection up around her. Because it's like once yes, we're all sending hugs to her. But she's still young enough that you could go in and do some things for her. It's like once they hit 12, then they're more responsible for their choices and decisions. But when they're that young, there's ways for you to go in and go into meditation and talk to her inner child. Yeah. Talk to her inner child, hug her, tell her that you're here for her and that him not being around has nothing to do with her. And don't forget, we're in Mercury retrograde. That's communication problems. And file for that child support. Don't let him get away with it. Even if you just get the stimuluses, hun, that'll help. Did you get a car straightened out yet, hun? Your dad get the other car fixed? Let her know that because her dad is not seeing her, that it's not a reflection of her, that it's a reflection of him. She may not understand that, but on some level she will. It's so hard. Because I watched my older kids go through that, but they were older anyway. They were like 11 and 13 when we got a divorce, and he never made any attempt to see them. Oh. Make sure you stress to her it's not that he does not want her, okay? That he's got so many things going on in his life that gosh, that is so hard. And it's so hard when our kids are hurt like that. It's not that her daddy doesn't want her. He's just emotionally not capable of being here at this point in time. Good for you, girl. Have you tried contacting him, Tiff, to see why he hasn't tried to see her? Might be he's out of work. And sometimes when they can't pay their child support or something, they feel like they can't see him either. Oh my gosh. I actually got a notification that I'm online. I quit getting notifications a long time ago. Okay, Tiffany, don't forget that men don't think like we do. If he cannot, okay, he may be thinking, okay, I'm just saying, okay, he may be thinking if he can't pay his child support that you're not going to let him. Reach out to him and see what's going on, hon. That's all I can say. It may be something way off. Hey, Lone Star Cowboy, how are you tonight? This is spiritual talk. It's supposed to be spiritual talk, but we're kind of talking about a little bit of everything tonight. It's not so much, okay, men are the caretakers, they're the suppliers. He might be feeling that since he can't pay his child support that he's not worthy of seeing her because he's not taking care of her. I don't know, hon. Just okay, so just yeah. I'd get a hold of child support division and let him know that he's not paying. At least. You know. That's so sad. My heart is just crying for her. I know. And this is what's hard is this may be one of the lessons she came in to learn. She's going to have to deal with feelings of abandonment until she learns to heal all that, hon. Like I said, go into meditation and talk to her inner child. She's still young enough that you have the ability to do that. But it's the emotional aspects that you're worried about. I know, I understand. But hug the inner child, her inner child, and tell her, I love you. He loves you. He's just not, you know, he just can't be here right now. It's nothing to do with you, hun. Her inner child will understand better. Tell her you're there to protect her and take care of her. That you'll always be there for her. Ah. What kind of response did you get, Elle? Oh, the bus on the dark side of the light chasers? Yeah. Well, it's too early to go to bed, Tinkerbell. And it's your fault that you're hungry because you didn't eat last night. Don't look at me like that. Okay, so yeah, we're not doing readings tonight, Lone Star, but if you have spiritual questions, ask away, hon. That's what we're here for. Exactly. And but we want to protect our children from all of that, but we have to understand that that's part of the soul growth. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. This messaging. Ouch. Yes. What's your question, Lone Star? Ask away, hon. That's what we're here for. Who's being a little pain in the butt tonight, huh? Come here. No, because you'll pick me up. Okay, so Lone Star. First thing I would say is some people are just not emotionally available. It has nothing to do with you, hun. And this is exactly one of the things that we're talking about is feelings of abandonment. Okay? So explain to Lone Star how to use the bus, L. And Lone Star, we have lessons that we come in to learn in this lifetime. Okay? And one of the lessons you probably need to learn was to get past feelings of abandonment. No, explain to Lone Star. Okay, and it has nothing to do with you, but this we make soul contracts before we even come in, hun. And some okay, so have you ever watched Star Trek? How they have the holodeck where they would go in and play chess or play act out a play or whatever. So before we're born, we make contracts with other people to teach us lessons. Okay. So when we make these soul contracts with these other people, they come in to play parts for us. So, like in that hologram, they have put in a pre-programmed program for you to experience this, that, and that. That's kind of what life is like. We come in to learn certain lessons, and the other people in our life come in to play out that part that we need them to play in order for us to have soul growth. Does that make sense, hon? So one of the things that you came into this lifetime was to experience that feelings of abandonment. But the thing is, you need to, what does it teach you? Like Naughty by Nature was just saying, because of the abandonment of her father, she learned to be more independent. Okay? The thing is, you need to, yeah. The thing is, you need to learn to love yourself. You need to not care. Well, I don't want to say care. You want to find your own strength within. Yes. Ah, awesome, Elle. But so this is what I teach everybody. We are all supposed to be different. Okay? We are all supposed to have our own truths, our own belief systems. Okay? And not to worry about what other people think about us, because yes, that strength includes career. Okay, going in and finding exactly who you are, what you want, what your truth is, what makes you happy, because the other people outside of you are not the ones that are going to bring in the happiness. The happiness is within you. Yes, who does it belong to? So yeah. Give her the bubble technique. Give him the bubble technique too, hun. So, I got lost. I got lost. So every person, don't worry about what other people think, because every person in your life is going to have a different perspective of who you are. Nobody's going to see you the same way, because it's based on who they are. Okay? Based on their truth and who they are. Okay? So the thing is, for you to go in and find your own inner strengths, your own self-love, it's going within and finding out exactly who you are. Okay? How do we change the world? One person at a time. When you find that love, when you find that compassion for yourself, you can also go into meditation. Okay? And talk to that inner child and tell that inner child that you'll always be there for them and that you love them. Okay? Seem to be on the subject of inner child tonight. So yeah, there's two. If you go in, Tiffany's posted a couple of the techniques. We have the bubble technique. It's a very simple technique that you can put emotions, those feelings of abandonment stuff in the bubble, and it'll help clear it immediately. She would love that, Tiffany. The bubble technique is a way to go in and clear things quickly. And who does it belong to? A lot of times we pick up other people's thoughts and feelings. We might be feeling like 5% of what we're feeling is ours. 95% of what we're feeling, we're picking up from other people. And if just send it back to whoever it came from. But those are a couple techniques that might help you some, hun. Have him tell you why he isn't there and tell him how much it hurts. It can help. Yes. Hi, Radha. Yes, cutting the cords. That'd be awesome. If you're asking a spiritual question, yes. We're not doing readings tonight, hon. I think the subject tonight is kind of inner child. But the thing is, to quit looking outside yourself for validation. Okay, is probably what I'm trying to say. Yeah. I had somebody tell me today if I wanted to set up a play date with pugs. Yes, this is an awesome book for everybody. The Dark Side of the Light Chasers. Reclaiming Your Power, Creativity, Brilliance, and Dreams. Very, very healing book. I need to go back and reread it again. I have it on audio. I should just put it on since I can't sit down to read. But again, the thing is to find your own validation within, not to let how other people treat you affect who you are. Okay. Bubble technique. Tiffany posted just a little bit above here. She posted the bubble technique. Okay. I would put that statement first thing into the bubble technique. So, okay, so let me ask you this. How much do you take care of your own needs and listen to yourself? Okay? Because so if you're not having clear communication with another person, you need to have clear communication with yourself first. It's a troll. Oh, yeah, I can't clear them out because Mr. Floppy. Sorry for you, hun. Oh. So, first thing you need to do is communicate with yourself. Okay. So, if you can't communicate with another person, it's because you're not communicating clearly with yourself. So, either you wait and you have patience to see what's going on, or you just come out and ask this person, or what are we doing here? Are we dating? Are we just good friends? What's going on? It's hard. It's hard when you're dating. Are you guys going out to eat? Are you going and doing things together? To me, that's a date. Exactly. Exactly, Austin. So ask him. What do you got to lose if you ask him? You know, if he doesn't want to date, if he just wants to be friends, you've just been texting. Okay, when you go out on an actual date to eat, to go places, then you're dating. Right now, you're just communicating. Okay? Is that not right, ladies? If you're just texting back and forth, you're just communicating. Exactly. And if you're not working toward a dating relationship, then maybe you're just wasting your time. And it's better to find out now. Follow your intuition, hun. What is your intuition telling you? And if it's only been a month and a half, it's just communication. When you are actually physically going out and doing things, then you're dating. I know I went through the same thing. I went through the same thing. And I know a lot of it's probably because of the virus, right? So just ask him this. Where do you see this going? Where do you see us going? That's a simple enough question. But say it in a playful way, okay? Don't get all serious. Just kind of say it in a playful way. And don't ask him what he's feeling. Ask him what he's thinking. If you're going to ask him anything, because if you ask a man what he's feeling, he's going to get lost in his feelings. He's going to get lost trying to figure out what he's feeling. But if you ask them what they're thinking, that's different. Okay? They can pretty much tell you what they're thinking, but it's hard for them to define their emotions. But say it in a playful way. Well, what's going on here? You know, where do you see us going? Exactly. You're welcome, Hamid. And look at what Tiffany said, you know, until you're physically together and claiming each other, it's not really a committed relationship. Does that make sense, hun?
It's 8:22 p.m.
Did I say Alexa? Was there some reason I needed to know it was 8:22 p.m.? And that's one of the things so tell me, Austin, okay, it's Super Bowl weekend already? Oh, okay. So, Austin, how long has it been since you quit caring about what other people think? No, I didn't set an alarm for anything, and I didn't say Alexa either. Yeah. So what's interesting is my TV keeps going on and upstairs. And I was talking to somebody about it here a few months back, and they said it's your dad. And I said, my dad? And I said, you know what? That's funny because my dad used years ago when they had tubes in the TVs, my dad used to go do TV calls. That was his second job. Yeah. Yeah, never go to bed mad. That's a good one. Oh. Yeah, because you've been married for 20 some years now, haven't you, hon? Communication is so important. That's an awesome thing to that's like setting a boundary. Okay? That's like setting a boundary. That is an awesome. If you ask me, what do you feel? Okay, so okay, I know that you've been hurt, but you know what? Sometimes we have to put ourselves out there and be vulnerable in order to find out the things we want. I would, myself, I would say, okay, well, where do you see us going? And he says, well, maybe I see this and that happening. Most of the time, men are pretty truthful about where you're going and what's going on, okay? And I don't know, everybody's different, hon. That's a hard answer to give you. But the thing is, you know what? Sometimes you have to be vulnerable in order to find what's right for you. Let me put it that way. There's nothing wrong with being vulnerable. And I don't know how to answer that, honey, except to tell him. I would tell him, well, where do you see us going from here? What sign is he? Is he an earth sign, an air sign, water, fire sign? Do you know? I wouldn't ask him, what do you feel about me? I would ask, where do you see us going? That's not so threatening. He's a Libra. Oh my God. Okay. I'm a Libra. Okay. For one thing, like Tiffany said, men are terrified of rejection. Okay. I messed with my hair. Men are terrified of rejection, and Libras have a hard time committing. Give him a little bit of time, okay, hon? Give him a little bit of time. Yeah, you might have a little bit of, well, I don't know. Virgo's pretty structured. Virgo wants answers like this. A Libra is going to try to balance everything out and try to make they're going to be stuck in their head. Okay, remember this. Libras have a tendency to be stuck in their head. Take your time with this guy. Okay? And if you're going to ask him anything, just ask, well, like I said, where do you see this going? Okay? And yeah. Yeah, I'm a crazy Libra. They have to balance everything out. Okay? So put any fear you have into that bubble. Okay? Clear the bubble, clear the fears. You're afraid of rejection also. Okay, so again, try the bubble technique. Okay, any fears you have, any indecision you have, any fears of vulnerability that you have, put them all into the bubble. Okay, because if you want to bring in a healthy, loving relationship, then you need to clear things in yourself like doubt, not loving yourself, fears, fear of abandonment, fear of being hurt. Put all those things into the bubble and clear them, hun. Because if you've got those programs running, then you're going to draw that into you. Okay? And hun, we're here every Friday. You're married to a Libra. Ah. L, we're both working on that. We both need to put I never had a good relationship into the bubble. Okay? And I have a bad habit of saying the universe owes me a good relationship. And put that nervousness into the bubble too. Same thing, Radha. Okay? Put your nervousness, put your feelings of vulnerability, your feelings of insecurity. Okay? Ah, see, my twin flame is a Cappy. And I said, yeah. And that's what I told Elle that a while back. I said, he's the stability and I'm up here. I need the grounding and he needs the spirituality. Hun, we talk about everything on here. We don't just talk about spirituality. Hun, this is like a family. We talk about everything on here. And I think, yeah, I think so too, Elle. I think it's soon too. Just be careful. Okay. So, Tiffany, I want you to clear jealousy in yourself. Oh. It may not be alimony, honey. It may be child support too. You know, child support. Colorado's a state that you have to pay alimony. But if you're married 20 years and you're supposed to pay like 10 years. And I think that's part of what's going on with my twin flame. I think that he's so devastated because he didn't realize. I think he thought he had it made when he was getting the divorce. Because I'm sure he had, if he was married to her for a long time, that he had to give her half of his 401k and half of the house. And he was bragging that yeah, he was telling, yeah, because he told me, oh, well, I've been divorced for 10 years. But then the second time I saw him, we were talking and he goes, I had to refinance the house to pay her off. And I thought, okay, this divorce is a little more current than he's letting me believe. Yes. Best friend and He is egotistical. Even Elle picked up that he had a big ego. And he wasn't offering a give and take. That's why I cut it off. And he's terrified of rejection. That is so funny. Look at this. Thank you for sending these, hon. This person that comes back is someone who feels that the connection they had with you is worth another look, but there's so much indecision. Ego clashing with misunderstanding between you both. This might go nowhere fast. You both have to be more subtle in your approach toward one another and treat each other with more compassion and understanding. If you both take the time to look at things through the other's perspective, things can be sorted out smoothly. I think that I have no problem with look at somebody else's perspective. Tiff, Al, there's no reason that you can't. So this is one of the things that I put out to the universe. You're together as one person, but you still let the winds of heaven dance between you, and you have your own interests. Now, see, if Rob comes back, he's into sports. I'm not into sports. I do my spirituality and my arts and crafts and stuff. So, he can still go out and do his sports stuff with all his friends and stuff, and I'm not going to say nothing. Wow. And it's hard. Now this guy, I have grown kids, and he's got one grown daughter. And his whole world seems to evolve around his job and his daughter. So, don't know. I think Alice probably gave me the most accurate reading. I was listening to somebody else today that I hadn't listened to before, and she basically said the same thing that Elle was telling me. Yeah. But I still keep remembering that Two of Wands, you have to choose which pathway you want to go, Tiff. I don't remember a lot of readings, but I remember that one. And I think that's the main thing. If he's coming back, he's more afraid of rejection than anything, So it'll be interesting to see what happens by the end of the month. And Midnight told me that somebody was watching me and that he was going to reach out, and Austin thought that too until we were talking about whether he was going to follow through or not. So, yeah. It just depends on if he can get past the ego telling him, oh, if you do this, it's not going to work out and stuff, whatever he's thinking. All those fears, all the doubts, the feeling of vulnerability, the fears of rejection, You can ask the pen. No, don't ask the. No, Tiffany, this is something you need to decide for yourself. You know, because if you depend on the pendulum and the cards and everything, then you're giving away your free will. You have to go in and decide which is best for you, you know? Wouldn't wouldn't mediumship be in the ninth house, hon? I would think, because that ninth house is the house of spirituality, isn't it? The eighth house too? Okay. I don't have anything in the eighth or ninth house. She got a watery reading. What did Elle do to her ankle? Honey, when you get my age, then you could say you're old. No, but you could still let him know that he's hurting your daughter, you know? Sometimes you got to hold him accountable, Tiffany. Oceans and eruptions. That's funny. Guacamole and chips, ladies. I do think that we all have definitely some love relationship changes this year. So I was listening to a Dr. L, and he was talking about saw palmetto. This lady started taking saw palmetto because it was helping her husband not losing his hair. It was helping her hair and her skin. And she was taking 2 other supplements too. Good for you, girl. Hold him accountable. So that's the thing, Tiff. So maybe you should hold him accountable. Let him know that he's hurting your daughter. You know? So was that reading today? My kids have, my older kids, if they want to talk to their dad, they have to call him. He doesn't call them. Of course, he's a narcissist and he thinks that he's the center of the world. Yeah, we're all going to have to go in and watch that. That's why I recommend Austin to people for readings. You know? Every time you do a reading, you know, it's a lot of times things that will pop up that you know, may not just be for that person. It could be for you too, you know? Austin was on the edge of his seat. That's funny. Oh, this Mercury retrograde is bringing up all kinds of stuff for people. I think that's why there's so much violence right now. People are not emotionally able to handle everything that's going on, you know? And that's what retrogrades are for, is for you to go back in and reevaluate some things, you know? Mm-hmm. Interesting how that little book can change your whole perspective on things. Instead of pushing it away, instead of trying to resistance, go with it and see what it's trying to teach you. Yes. Exactly. You guys are so awesome. You know, that book teaches us tools we could use our whole life. Yeah. So the reading I was listening to today, she was talking about listening to your dreams and that somebody was coming back. In fact, they've all been kind of saying that. Somebody was coming back to do things the right way, and they were coming back in shame in order to make things right. And I thought about that dream. First, I saw his younger self. His younger self left, and then his older self came back, and he was wearing muddy clothes. Well, that represents coming back in shame. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. It's just how long is it going to take him? Oh, that's funny, Il. Mover and shaker. We were talking about that earlier. Il's a mover and shaker. Instant manifestation. That's awesome. Casey never did come back and tell us about her review. This computer is this is a fairly new computer. This computer is a year old, and all of a sudden, it's very, very, very slow. Like I said, I listened to Morning Invest, and he's talking about Mercury retrograde, and he's got a tech person that works with him. His computer went out this morning, and they weren't going to have anybody out from the cable company to fix it for 24 hours. So, yeah, been interesting. But then I put blue light around my computers and my phone in order for protection. I should put it around my Kindles too. I'm excited for your products for you to tell everybody about your products, hon. When's this shit supposed to end? Isn't that true? That is so funny. That is so funny. Have you looked around in any places, hon? Did you check out Castle Rock? It's a pretty little valley over in Castle Rock. Or over here in, what's the next town? I can't think of the name of it. Take a ride up to Woodland Park. Take a ride up to Castle Rock. Take a ride up here to Elizabeth. Elizabeth is pretty, very pretty. It's like living in the mountains with all the trees. It's high altitude and it's all the trees and stuff. Check out Fort Collins. If you want to go farther north, Fort Collins is an awesome area. Right along the foothills of the mountains. If I gave you a magic wand, what would you wish for and what would that look like, Tiffany? What else is possible here? What else is possible for me to have my own place? So I would check into some arnica gel. They sell it at Walmart. It's arnica, and they sell it at Vitamin Cottage or Natural Grocers, whatever you want to call it, okay? But it's arnica gel, and it would help your ankle, hon. Sushi places. Okay, there's a lot of sushi places here in Denver too, Teardrops. In fact, both my sons go to sushi places all over the place. They make it a exploration of going around and finding all the best sushi places, all up and down the Front Range. Yes. He's working in Utah. Well, then go for it. Where are you at? What state are you in now, hon? You're out south, though, aren't you? What part of Utah is he working in? You're in Oklahoma? Yeah. What part of Utah is he working in? Salt Lake City? I think that's about 8 hours from Denver. And Utah's pretty in its own way. Have you been to Salt Lake City and some of the surrounding areas? Some of those canyons are just awesome. Sushi. It's funny, sushi places. Yes. So what's the possibility of you guys moving to Utah? Oh. Was he receptive to the idea, or does he like being stable in Oklahoma? Now be the time to move because the interest rates are so low on houses, you know? Exes. Well, I have one in Denver and one in Mexico. Everyone in his family looks exactly alike. It's kind of sad because my first husband's 10 years older than me, and he's having lots and lots of health problems. I never want to be around that man again because you'd be nice to him and he thinks you're trying to get him back. Oh. And second husband is 10 years younger than me, and he had a heart attack. He learned to make chicken here in the United States, went and started a fried chicken place in Mexico and was making big bucks. But he had a heart attack and sold everything and moved down to his mom and dad's place. His mom and dad passed. So both of them keep trying to contact me on Facebook. And it's really funny because they both, when one tries to contact me, the other one tries to contact me within 4 days. Oh, Vegas. My one of my grandsons is in Vegas this weekend. Which 3L? I think we've all been together in a past life. Ugh. I'm sure that I've had past lives. Okay, so we all come in soul groups of about 500 souls anyway. So I'm sure we've had past lives together. Yeah, I'm sure we have. Everybody in our lives have yeah. Everybody that we know has been in a past life with us. That's cool, Teardrops. So his heart is actually in Oklahoma rather than Utah. Yeah. When did Casey ask you that? Was that on Austin's side or? Yeah. So if that's really what you want to do is move down to Utah, then talk to him, you know? What are the possibilities of you moving to something better? You took Leon from her? He's taking a break from doing readings, though, isn't he? All I can say is this year's going to be interesting for everybody romantically. You know, I kind of saw a post on that the other night from one of the other groups. They were asking about that, and they said some people say yes. Now it's interesting because Brianna had a birthmark right here that was the shape of a heart. The youngest daughter. Her baby also has a mark, but it's right in there too. And the older two had strawberry birthmarks that all went away by the time they were 5. So I don't know. You know, I don't know. It could be. The way I look at it, in every lifetime, we experience everything. And it may not be past life, it could also be future lives also. It's not just past lives. That's what one of my other friends is going through. She needs to be stable She needs to be on her own. She needs to have her own house, her own stability, feel that stability within herself, and then you get a person. So I think that's something that we all need to look. It could have been a gunshot blast. You were Tattie's man? Yeah, she won't come back on YouTube anymore because of Mike. And I reached out to her, I messaged her to see how she was doing, and she wasn't receptive. She's the one that taught me a lot about how to use YouTube. You know? She was my mentor. Oh my God. I know in one lifetime I lived in Atlantis, and it was so funny because I remember being in a temple, and it was almost like they had these slings that came down that were almost like trampolines, and we were bouncing on them. And another one, it was like reverse pyramids. Everything came down like that, and in the bottom was like an arena where we were having spiritual rituals. I know, I miss Tatty too. And I have her email. What were the other lifetimes? I know I've been Native American. Did I ever tell you the story about this? It could very possibly be. My friend Nan, okay, she's over in Arizona now, and she used to tell past life stuff. So I got up one morning and I was listening to some music called Tear of the Moon. It's Incan pipe and Native American flute, and I'm crying and crying and crying, and I have no idea why. So my friend and I went over to Nan's that day, and one of the gals asked, why does Crystal appear to me as a man? So she started telling this story. Yeah, I love Italian food too. And she said that after Atlantis sunk, that they were the red races, okay? That they were the Native Americans, and that they landed in the Four Corners area when the waters went down. And they had prophets, they had seers that said, okay, we need to watch for invaders. There's invaders coming. So this was like the second generation after Atlantis. They had watchers on all the canyons. And the gal Freya, she was seeing Crystal as a man. He was one of the watchers. He was her brother. And he was one of the watchers. So they had outlying villages. So one morning they got up and they saw dust. They swear them down. The Native Americans say they've always been here. They say the horses have always been here. But the way she told it was there was dark-haired, this is way back, dark-haired Viking invaders. And they got up one morning and they could see dust in the foreground. They had no idea what horses were at that time. And they thought, well, nobody could be moving very fast, so we'll check and see in the morning what's going on. That night, they start seeing fires in all the outlying villages and realize that they were surrounded. on all four sides. So they, and I'm crying this whole time, and I have no idea why. I had even left, took my friend to her car, and I said, should I go back? And this little voice popped in my head and said, if you go back, you're going to cry. So here I am crying, listening to the story. And she said that I was the little sister. I had autism, and that I was the sister of one of the watchers. And one of the watchers was engaged to, no, I wasn't the little sister. I was engaged to one of the watchers, and my sister had autism. So what happened was, when they realized they were surrounded, they sent out 5 women with 1 man in each one of the different directions. And I was sent off with 1 man and 4 other women, and had to leave my fiance behind because he had decided to stay back and be one of the defenders. And the older people were given the option of walking off the cliffs into dream time, rather than be slaves. That man that I ended up going off with was my first husband in another lifetime. And he was very, very jealous because he had always been in love with me. And he was jealous of my fiance. He used to abuse me in that lifetime too. But this is how it came to be the different Indian tribes. They sent off 1 man with 4 different women in each one of the different directions in order to continue the people. And this became the different Indian tribes all over the country. And I'm crying the whole time. That was crazy. It's like I knew when I got up that morning. So yeah, Nan was very, very good at telling past lives. That's the only time I've had anybody tell me anything about past lives, but that was kind of traumatic. And the Native Americans say they've always been here. You know, they didn't come across, according to their teachings, they didn't come across any bridge. And they said the horses have always been here too. And the Native Americans have the most unique DNA of the whole world. I probably did kill myself if I was being abused. And come back and do another lifetime with this abusive man. But we all give him a part to play. That's like last week when Darlene came in and we were talking about how we come in to experience things. She disappeared, and I thought, well, she got upset because, she was still grieving her twin brother dying, of cancer. And she goes, why would we choose to have cancer? And Casey told her, suffering like Jesus. But it's just lessons. It's experience. It's soul growth. Exactly. Past lives and childhood stuff. And it's all coming down to healing the same stuff. We were Romeo and Juliet. That's funny. Ask if all of us have been in women's groups in other lifetime. I recommended a couple times the movie, the book, The Red Tent. It talks about biblical times and how the women would have their moon time every month, that they would go into separate lodges and they would pamper each other. Well, that's what they used to do in the biblical times too. The women had separate tents and they would pamper each other when it was their moon time. And the Native Americans did the same thing. That's an interesting book, The Red Tent. That makes a lot of sense, Elle. That makes a lot of sense. In order to shift the patterns, in order to complete the soul growth, you know? I bet I've been hanged too, because they telling me that I started to have problems with my left arm going numb. Okay. And I went in and they did x-rays in my neck and they said that I have bone spurs in there. That it's very, very thin, that my neck looked like it'd been stretched out at some point, and I had bone spurs in there, and there's the nerves in my neck are just right there on the outside, that if I got in a car accident and got whiplash, that I'd probably be crippled for the rest of my life. But that could have been hanging also, you know. It's all soul growth and learning. And like I said, I've been taught since I started metaphysics, we come in as soul groups of 500. And we help each other learn things, you know. And I'm sure I've been with Rob several times, and I think that we've had this runner chaser scenario going on in different lifetimes. Because I look at him and he feels like home. He just feels like home. I have a fear of drowning. And if you have a fear of driving, hon, okay, if you have a fear of driving, put it in the bubble. That's how Tiffany cleared her fear of driving. He is home. Yeah. He is home. And I'm sure that one of the reasons I had to go through with what I went through with these husbands is because they've abused me in other lifetimes too. And I needed to stop that cycle also, you know? Stand up to both of them. But then the universe kind of, with the first husband, I probably would have stayed with him forever. Oh, I had an astrologer tell me one time, Libras have a tendency to be masochistic in a relationship. They will stay and stay and stay. But the universe gave me a tower moment. And yeah, that gave me the perfect opportunity, because I knew for 3 years that I wanted to divorce him, but I didn't think I was strong enough. I didn't think I could support my kids, but I was already doing it. Yeah, I believe that. I believe that. And with second husband, the last time he was beating on me or trying to beat on me because I wouldn't stand up, kept grabbing me. Trying to get me to stand up so he could beat on me. I just kept falling down where he couldn't grab me, and I had this chasm open up, and I saw the hell that he was going through, all the pain that he had inside of him. That almost destroyed me more than anything, to see somebody's hell. Honey, I am sure we have all been accused of being a witch. Aww. So it's like he opened up the way for you, huh? Teardrops, for you to find your husband. I know some of the things that go on in this lifetime, I just think how messed up, but it's just sometimes it's hard to wrap your mind around some of the things that we go through. What was I supposed to learn from this, But again, we need to learn self-love and independence and finding our own truth, And I'm sure that your old love had nothing to do with bringing your husband into your life. It's funny what they can do from the other side for us. The thing that gets me, look at how the Jews have to have everything kosher, okay? So every time we are killed, how much fear are we carrying back with us? Because when they talk about kosher, this is putting the animals down in a humane way to where there's no fear. Because when you put the animals down in fear, then you're putting fear into the food. And look how these meat packing plants, they don't kill the animals in a humane way. These animals are dying full of fear, and the animals know that that's why they're here. But there's no reason for them to go in fear. Oh, yeah. It's so hard. It's so hard. When my mom died when I was 11, that changed my whole life. I was stuck with my dad, who was not a nice person. And my mom didn't want me in the first place. I went from a happy-go-lucky child into an introverted mess. But the thing is, you know that he's around, Elle, because you pick him up, and I'm sure your daughter picks him up too, And yes, hugs to you, Elle. Hugs to everybody for all the things that we've gone through. This lifetime, others, future lifetimes. What did I say, Elle? What do I need to clear, hun? I know I wrote down I never had a good relationship. Tell me what to clear, hon. Oh. So all my grandparents were gone by the time I was 11, and my mom. The only one I had was my dad. My dad died in 96. And then it was my sisters. My sisters are gone. They were 13 and 15 years older than me. Now I'm the oldest one in the family. Ah. See, we hold each other accountable. Yes, bubble tea. Yeah. I have every time we have one of these talks, I write down things that I need to clear. So, what are you ladies doing for Valentine's Day? That's 9 days away. You see 5? Well, we need to clear. That we all have bad relationships. You're buying a remote control. You're so funny. Oh, heavens. So I keep dwelling on Tiffany saying that I don't know how to word it, that she can't make her ex be a father, but she can hold him accountable. It seems like she should be holding him accountable, though. That's still setting a boundary. Does that make sense, Tiff? I've been saying I'm tired of being sick. Yep. I'm tired of being sick, and I am always sick. Ah, that'd be a good one for all of us, probably. I'm always someone's second choice. People don't see me. And I did notice that I've been saying I was the third person in my marriage. Oh, yeah. How about it? It's taking forever to feel better. But so what I'm feeling, Tiff, is that you need to be empowered and hold him accountable. Let me put it that way. And L, I would clear a lot of things about money. Money doesn't grow on trees. It seems like you're more focused on money right now. Okay. Uh, Money doesn't grow on trees. Yes, it does. It's made out of paper. Yes. I am nervous and excited about somebody new coming in. I'm never going to find somebody. I know, Tiffany, but she doesn't have to know that you're talking to him, but there is such a thing as holding somebody accountable. Especially when he's hurting your child, you know? Yes. Hold on. Hello? What? Did he go? So what's it? He told me he was going to take advantage and nobody be in there and stay in his room all weekend. We'll see. All right. No. Yeah. Well, I'm on a live right now, so what do you need? Okay. You going to be up? Okay. Love you too. Bye. That was Chicken's mom. Chicken did not go to Las Vegas. I don't know. He told me that if he didn't go to Las Vegas, that he was going to come over tomorrow, but I'm not going to hold my breath on that. You know, and he says, Grandma, I need you to do some clearings on me. But the thing is, I try to empower you guys to do the work rather than me doing the work. Yes. And like I told you earlier, Tiffany, ask. Okay, the main thing I can see that you learned is you didn't follow your intuition and your knowing, hon. You didn't say no. Yeah, he had a rough week. Yeah. Yeah, the hen, mama hen. Yes. Put all that stuff in the bubble, hon. You didn't do anything wrong. Okay? But it was a lesson to you ignored that intuition, hon. We talked about that earlier. You ignored that knowing. Okay? You want to eat fried chicken? Oh. Sometimes it's the computer monitoring. Can't even talk. No, it's not bedtime yet. You can go upstairs and eat anytime you want, little girl. Yes, you can. Here, will this make you happy? My dog likes dates. She's so funny. She won't eat oranges or grapefruits, but she'll eat pineapple and dates and carrots. And you got up to the throat chakra in the book. I got the first chakra done. Girl, I am just having so much trouble concentrating. It's not just that, Tiffany. But I asked you before you got in the car, you told me that you had a funny feeling. You got in there anyway. Was it because you didn't have any place else to go? Sometimes you got to speak up, Tiffany. And this is something that's going on with the sperm donor too. Sometimes you need to speak up. Okay? Sometimes you need to voice what's going on, what you're feeling. No more. Oh, yes. So, Tiffany, look at all the places that you just gave your power away, okay? You're giving your power away to the sperm donor. You gave your power away to your friend. How many other ways are you giving power away to other people? And Teardrop said she wanted to declare, I am tired of being sick. How I am tired. I am sick and tired of being sick and tired. That's a good one, Elle. Okay, that's a good one. Intuition didn't hit you until we pulled up and the friend was getting out. That's when everything started. Oh. I have a grandson. You know, I tell these kids things from the time they're little. I told one of my second youngest grandson, third youngest grandson. I told him, if you ever walk into a party and you get a funny feeling, get the hell out of there. He walked into a party. He could hear me in his head say, if you get a funny feeling, okay, get the hell out of there. So he left. 2 hours later, they had a shooting at that party. Now, see, when Teardrops would call her dad, she was holding him accountable also. You know? Wow. I think this is a good thing that we're doing tonight, working on things to clear. But Al, make sure that you clear some things around money. Money does not grow on trees. Money's the root of all evil. I owe my life to the IRS. Clear some. Yeah. I can't make amends with my parents. Wow. That's huge. How about we all need to clear, if I do something different than everybody else, then I don't fit in. I fear the IRS. Yes. How about something like I have to follow the rules. I have to follow the rules. I don't fit in. Your husband needs to be rich. Yeah. The thing is, it's not. Oh, yeah. That's a good one. I can't get over my past. How about the people from my past make me angry? How about that one? I am the way I am because of my past. You don't want to have the same type of love as your parents. You want to have your own type of love because you're different than them. How about I have to do the things the way my parents did it? So if you're going to clear, I am the way I am because of my past, I would put past, present, and future. Oh, yeah. I don't want to get hurt again. I don't want to feel vulnerable again. Oh, yeah. I'm scared. I have one person that comes in and says you have to focus on the positive things. But the thing is, if you have those underlying programs, okay, if you have those underlying programs, the positive affirmations are not going to work. So you need to clear out the programs first. Oh, you guys are all awesome. I'm honored to have all of you around me. Ooh, yeah. My body will never look good. You know, I'd say over the past 8 years, I've lost 50 pounds. Just very slowly, a little bit at a time here and there. In fact, just this last year, I've lost 9 pounds. So I've actually lost about 55 pounds in the last 8 years. My body will never look good again. Yeah. That's a good one. I'll never be able to. That's a good one. And I think part of the reason I gained weight was because the guys used to grab my ass all the time. I think it was between that and being an empath. I think that it was a form of protection. Okay, yeah, we were okay. So Teardrops is going to join us, Tiffany. She's just going to come in a month later than everybody else. Okay. I would put out the intention that you were going to, if you're going to do the shield, okay, this is for the shield. If you're going to do the shield, just put out an intention that you're going to do a manifestation shield, and that you're going to get a gift every month on the new moon for the next 12 months. And if you're going to set your intentions on the new moon, just write I am now allowing myself to, okay? And we need to set up a date, I know. I just been slacking off. Okay. Yeah, because she tried to come in last time, but she was down with the COVID and her computer wouldn't connect. So maybe it just wasn't time for her to come in yet. She'll just be a month behind us. That's okay. There's no set time that you have to do it January to December. Yeah. Yeah, she was very, very sick last time. But there's no reason that she can't put an intent to do that. So you can do a round circle, you can do a square. You just figure out some kind of medium that you want to put it on. You can do a canvas. You can do like a traditional medicine shield. Honey, you don't need to be shy with us. We're family. So Tiffany's using a t-shirt that has significance for her. They have already, Austin got his new moon gift, and I keep forgetting to ask Snow. Tiffany got her new moon gift. So it's coming up, hun. Isn't it next week? Just put out your intention, okay? Put out your intention. So clear that, teardrops. I'm shy. You can come on. You do not have to do the video part. All you have to do is just talk. We're just there to be supportive for each other, okay, hon? Girl, why do you... The dog lays under my feet on the tile floor, and I have a little soft bed right next to her. Cool. Well, we'll talk about that. And I know Austin said he got his music stuff, and like I said, I forgot to ask Snow Queen. See, use your creativity. This is like a reverse vision board. Instead of you putting your intent out for the things that you want from the universe, this is where you are learning to accept gifts from the universe. It's not unfair, hun. It's just choice. It's just choice. We all understand choice. It's and you know we're all going to honor you, you know. That's like when Austin does readings, sometimes he doesn't show himself. People don't care, you know. Don't worry about it, hon. My gift was I think it was more family appreciation. You know, the phone call. Yeah. The phone call from Gino and my daughter and stuff expressing appreciation for me. That was around new moon. That was huge for me. You know? And you guys were all witnesses to that. And I'm telling you, you're not starving to death. My little tubby pug. Come here. Come here. You want to let me pick you up? Come here. Come here. Come here. Nope. She heard the chair move. She backed up. Come here. Let me see your butt. Come here. Let me scratch your butt. Let me scratch your butt. Come here. Oh, yes. Poor baby. See, I have to even honor the choice of the dog. She doesn't like to be picked up a lot. So if she hears me move the chair back, she knows I'm going to pick her up, so she runs off. And I give her the option, well, come here, come here. Ah, breaking free, get the twin flame. Even the doggy has choice. She can make the choice to trust me. So I can tell if she doesn't want to be picked up, so I've got to honor her choice too. She's an old girl. Huh? Yes, you are. What else, ladies? Anything else you can think of we need to clear? Austin got his music. That was for his new moon. Yeah. That free will choice is so, so important. Yeah. Well, we'll get to see your shield when we do our call, okay? I really should set up a call this weekend. When is the next new moon? Moon phases. The 11th. Yeah. The 11th. So we should probably see if we can't do something this weekend. Austin said he had to work, 8:30 to 5 tomorrow? Yeah. You'll be in Georgia next weekend. Well, so that'll be interesting to see what the universe gives you, because the new moon is the 11th. That's 6 days. So that'll be what, next? You're running out of space? Are you going to have to order another shelf, hon? So put that in the bubble too, Elle. I'm running out of space. I haven't found where I want to live yet. You're getting 3 new shelves? Yeah. The gold and the color of her labels fit together awesome. Yeah. So will you be with potential for Valentine's Day? So that's interesting. So the Super Bowl is this weekend. That's interesting because somebody that I know that is a twin flame is a major sports fanatic, and if he's got any time off, he will be watching Super Bowl. So that means that next weekend he would be more free, and we'll see if he messages. So We will see. And if I clear some of this stuff, then maybe that will clear some energy too. I think the labels make it very, very classy. Let me put it that way. The colors fit. I think that they look very classy. Yes, it's nothing fancy. Clear it. Yeah, I think they look fantastic too. I'm glad you're opening up about your products now, because when you first told me about them, you wouldn't even mention them. You know, because you weren't ready yet. And I think you're going to do very well with your products. Well, ladies, we ought to wrap this up in the next 15 minutes. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about? Because Tiffany's got to get her daughter to bed, and Elle's got to unbox products. And I imagine Teardrops probably just needs sleep. Men. What do you want to talk about with men? You're working until 12 a.m. What do you want to talk about with men, Elle? Because they're not our best friends. They're meant to be different than us. Because we're meant to be nurturers and caretakers. Well, they're caretakers too, but on a different level. Okay? They are the protectors, not the nurturers. They're the protectors, and they are the providers. The thing is, it's not so much pampered. They need to be appreciated. They need you to let them know that you appreciate them. If you ask them for advice, I remember listening to one of the guys that does the relationship stuff. He says he went to a house. He was doing his job, and he says, I was not interested in asking this woman out until she asked my opinion of something and shifted my whole perspective of her. And I invited her out on a date, and she ended up being his wife. Because they need to feel valued and appreciated. Oh. Because that's the way they are, hon. As they, yeah. I was calling Chicken out about his ego. He goes, I know. It's not so much strong. It's valuing their input, valuing their intelligence. You know, tell them thank you. It's you should get that book, girl. Where is it? Amazon. It's just a little tiny book. Where is it? Copy. This book explains men so much. And it's so funny because the last time I saw Rob, before I cut him off, okay, he was standing there and he was doing this little shoulder thing when he was looking at the pictures of all my family that I have on the wall. I don't know why that second one come up. Oh, it's part of it. And one of the things she talks about, she goes, when a man decides to commit, they do a funny little shoulder thing. And I thought afterwards, I wish I would have had this book before, because he was making an effort to look at all the pictures and ask who everybody was, because he was genuinely interested. And he did this little shoulder thing. And I said, oh, if I would have known, then I probably wouldn't have cut him off. That was my fault. Oh, come on, where are you? It's too long, so let me put the name up. Okay, have a good night, Tiffany, and give her a hug for all of us. I used to do that too. Tiff. Teardrops. I used to do that too. Love you, Tiff. Have a good night, hon. What I hated was when they'd start snoring, I'd be hitting them in the ribs with my elbow or making them lay on their side. That's crazy. That's crazy. Me too, Elle. Me too. Yeah. Yeah. I can understand having one or two beers, but yeah. My dad had all the characteristics of being an alcoholic, and it's funny. He was a drinker when I was growing up, but he had all the characteristics. He was a wild one when he was younger, and they used to have Dutch hops, and they used to have homemade whiskey. He used to tell tales about he'd be sitting on the porch, couldn't even rock the rocking chair because he had such a bad hangover. There's a difference between social drinking, okay, and downright getting drunk all the time. So put that in the bubble, both of us. Now, don't forget, Elle, you create your reality. So if you clear, I don't like a sloppy drunk. I don't want somebody that drinks until they're a sloppy drunk. Clear that kind of stuff and you could change your reality. If you feel like he drinks, then start clearing those statements and you could shift the energy, hon. Yeah. Yeah. So I'll make a note too. Yeah. Make a note too to see when school is out down there. So we can make those reservations. Yeah, that's a big trigger for me because both, like I said, both husbands were alcoholics and my dad was a dry alcoholic. 11:11. I have in-laws that are in the panhandle of Texas. They are the very last town before Oklahoma. Awesome people. Yeah. Both my brother-in-laws were alcoholics and cheaters. Both my husbands were alcoholics and cheaters. Ugh. Leave me alone. She's so funny. So this comes back to being you just have to come to a point to where you agree to disagree on your differences. Like I said, Rob is into sports and I'm not. So if we that's something that would be, that we would have to do separate and stuff, things like that. But it's uh being together, being one, but being an individual at the same time. And you shouldn't be okay. Clear that because you shouldn't be holding a man down. You should be supporting a man in things that they do. There's a little bit of a difference there. But there's also a point there where you have to set boundaries. And you could write a list of things that are deal breakers for men, and you could put that out to the universe too. And one of my deal breakers is being an alcoholic and abusive. You know? We are strong. We are awesome. So clear that. I have little patience with men. And put out into the universe on the new men, I want a man that loves and accepts me as I am, as I do him. I don't know. It's been so long since I've been in a relationship that I don't know. This is going to be like, yeah, very strange for me. Oh, give you a stallion. Yeah. That'd be funny if somebody offered you a horse. Not me. I'm too old to be on Bachelorette. You would be perfect for Bachelorette. You're young, single, and beautiful. Yeah. Don't forget, be careful, girl, because there's a lot of cowboys out here. Just like Willie Nelson says, Mama, don't let your boys grow up to be cowboys. Good night, Tears. Yeah. You all have an awesome weekend. I guess we should wrap it up. It's 3.5 hours. That way Elle can get busy on her stuff too. I'm going to sit down and clear all this stuff and then go feed the doors. Save a horse, ride a cow. There's tons of cowboys out here where I'm at. Elbert County is the largest county in the whole state, and there's cowboys everywhere. Usually around the 4th, 5th, 6th, or the first weekend in June, they usually have a rodeo out here. Lots of cowboys. Yeah. Okay, we'll wrap it up for the night. If anybody needs anything, they can message me. So everybody have an awesome weekend, and I will probably see you on Sunday. Okay? If I don't do one before then. Giddy up, she says. Yeah. Yeah. You're funny. Okay, everybody have a good night. Love you all. Thank you for being here. And namaste.